Punch it to me.
What's up, everybody? Welcome to another episode of the Colby Cast, where we dive into movies,
21 gigawatts!
TV,
Sometimes I'll start a sentence, and I don't even know where it's going. I just hope I find it along the way.
and everything in between.
Well, I don't know how you get a podcast, but you should look into it.
I'm Colby, and I'm joined by my two awesome sons, Caleb
I don't know how to tie my shoes.
and Luke.
I never shut up.
Together, we're your friendly neighborhood pop culture nerds, here to share our thoughts on Star Wars, Marvel, the latest entertainment news, and maybe even some sports.
Do you believe in miracles? Yes!
So grab a piece of cake
Cake! Everybody loves cakes.
and find a comfy spot on the couch, because this is your place for community and conversation about pop culture and storytelling.
What an incredible smell you've discovered.
Did you guys know that there's a new Marvel animated show called Your Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man?
Yeah, and Norman Osborn has waves.
Like
Yeah,
on his hair?
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, he does. Caleb, have you heard of it?
I feel like I've only heard of it because you had mentioned it some time ago, and then I saw it on Twitter. That was it.
So have you guys seen so you haven't watched any of the episodes? There's 2 episodes and they drop on Wednesdays. There's 2 episodes that came out last week. So you guys haven't watched it?
I have not seen any of it.
I didn't know it was out.
Are you interested at all in it? And like, not, I don't know. Okay. Are you guys going to watch it at all?
Probably not.
I'm going to be honest. Is it a kids show?
Actually, no. Actually,
Okay, but
it's kids can watch it. It's not like rated mature or anything, but there's some, I don't know. It's okay for kids, but it's not. I don't think it's geared towards kids.
then I don't know. I feel like there's a special place in my heart for animation, so maybe. But I've been very busy binging Always Sunny in Philadelphia. I don't know what it is about the show, but I think I finished 14 seasons in about a month.
Oh, dang.
Yeah. Yeah.
How long are the episodes?
They're like normal, like 25 to 30 minute, no commercials. But the seasons are only like, I think the longest season is 12 episodes and the shortest season is 8, and it fluctuates between 8 and 10 or 8
Oh,
and
okay.
12.
I mean, still,
Um,
like that amount of seasons in 1 month is pretty impressive, even for shorter episodes and shorter seasons.
yeah, don't get me wrong. It's trash at times and it's very raunchy most of the time, but it does something. It gets me laughing so hard.
So you're not going to watch Your Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man because you're going to continue watching Always Sunny in Philadelphia. I get it. That's cool.
Yeah,
So do you want me to
wrong part of
convince
the
you
East
to
Coast.
watch? What?
Wrong part of the East Coast.
Do you want me to convince you to watch Spider-Man? Would you like to hear? I watched the first 2 episodes. Are you interested in hearing my non-spoiler thoughts? No spoilers.
Yes.
I don't think Luke is convinced. He already said he's not going to watch it.
Go ahead and give me your pitch. If it's good, maybe I'll give it a shot.
No pressure.
Okay, so here's my pitch. I don't know why it exists.
That's your pitch?
I'm not sure I can really pitch it that great. It's cool. Okay, it's cool. Only 2 episodes, so not a huge like sample size here. I'm not going to pretend to be like, yeah, you should definitely watch it. I'm going to watch it. I think there's enough interesting stuff happening in the first 2 episodes to keep me coming back at least for this week's episode, and we'll see what happens, and then maybe next week's episode. There's some weird stuff happening, because it originally was supposed to be an animated show about Tom Holland's origin story in the MCU. But then they changed it up. So, like, showing us the stuff that we only got referenced real quick in Civil War. Remember when Tony Stark shows up at the Parker household and they have their little discussion before they go off and fight in the airport?
God, I
So
thought you said no spoilers.
there's no this is spoilers for Civil War. I never said no spoilers for Civil War. So this was originally going to be like the origin story that we didn't see leading up to that. But then they switched it up, and this is now like a multiverse story happening in a different universe. And it's not, I mean, they do the origin story thing, but it's very quick again. And then you're off to the races into like the whole story of the show, which is got Norman Osborn in it, which is not a spoiler because it's literally in the marketing. Harry Osborn's in it. We don't have these characters in any of the MCU stuff. Luke, you look like you want to say something.
Yeah, I love an origin story. Nothing beats a good origin story, but I do think it's really hard to do. I don't like origin stories that get skimmed over and then you're like, okay, this is the rest of the show. I like how the origin story. I like the finale tying into the origin story. You know,
Sure.
for like the end of the first season or the first movie or something like that. I really like that. I think um the first Spider-Verse movie was that Into the Spider-Verse? Yeah. Into
Yep.
the Spider-Verse. I think that was the perfect origin story. Um I know it's not a fair bar to hold something else to, but that's my animated Spider-Man.
That is a very good point. Because I thought about that. Um, they're trying to do something with this show that I think the Spider-Verse movies do such a good job at, which is like make you feel like you're watching a living comic. But this one is much more geared towards like the 1960s style of animation and Spider, not necessarily his costume or his whatever, but the look of the animation. Like it looks very retro-y, but it's in a modern day setting because they like have cell phones. You've got high school kids with like modern haircuts and different color hair, that kind of stuff. Um, so they're looking for like this retro look, but it's a modern story, and I guess we'll remain to like we'll withhold judgment to see if it actually works or not. But it's sort of a weird thing to counterbalance. But I think that the animation is cool. You will literally like see um, comic panels on the screen at the same time, and then like one will push into the other one, and that's how they like transition from one scene to another. I don't know if that makes any sense whatsoever, but
Yeah,
it's
I know exactly
cool.
what you mean.
Yeah, it's cool.
The look
Doesn't
of it.
Into the Spider-Verse do that too?
It does, but this one does it much more like sort of linear, where you're like Into the Spider Verse is sort of like, I don't know how to explain it. It's to me it's like much more dynamic, and this one does it in a more static way where you're like for a second or two you're looking at a comic page, and then it'll zoom in on one panel, and then the story will start. Whereas the Spider Verse movies are like the comic aspects are part of the story, right?
Hmm. So it's
I
a
don't
kid show.
know. Maybe it might be. The, I don't know. I'm rooting for it. I want to like it. It's
How
got
many
the
episodes is it?
10. There's going to be 10 episodes, and they're about 30 minutes, and that is definitely a pro for me. Like it's very easy watching. I watched 2 episodes, not even an hour. It was entertaining. It was fun. It was enough to bring me back for the third episode and to start talking about it here. but I do have the nagging question in my mind, like, why does this exist? What are they doing here? So either they've got big plans and they're hiding them very well, or this is just a sort of another Marvel womp womp womp. We'll see.
That is definitely, the former is definitely what they want you to think, because I don't even think they thought of anything after it.
It's possible.
If the first two
Yeah.
episodes are about nothing, I don't feel like there's a lot that they're setting up in the last 8.
Well, no, it's not about nothing. I mean, I'm not. I'm trying not to spoil the story because there's some choices. Like there's some choices in the story, and you would have to watch it to see what those stories are or what those choices are. And
See, that's a much more intriguing pitch.
then I don't know why it exists.
Yeah.
Sell me this pen.
Huh?
You don't know that reference?
I didn't hear it. What?
Sell me this pen.
Oh, well, it's erasable. I
No.
love.
It's a Wolf of Wall Street reference. The whole thing is, I'll sell you this pen because you need this pen, not because of how great it is. It's because you need this pen. You don't tell somebody, hey, this is so great. You got to watch it. Tell them you got to watch it because you got to watch it.
I've never seen The Wolf of Wall Street, so thank you for that contribution. But
I
if I
will
had,
spoil it for you. I will spoil it for you. There's no wolves on Wall Street.
no, not the traditional kind, anyway. Um,
Nope.
so it got me thinking, like, about Marvel animation bigger on like a bigger scale. You guys didn't watch X-Men 97 either. What was the last season of What If that you guys have watched?
Oh yeah, there are multiple, huh?
This was the
3.
third season, correct?
Third and final. Yeah, that just came out over the holidays.
3?
I watched the second season.
I'm guessing Caleb didn't watch the second season. He didn't because he was surprised at a third season.
I definitely watched the first one. I'm trying to verify if I've even sniffed the second one.
I'm gonna guess that you didn't. So it's fine. Like it's sort of like it started out really strong. I'm talking about What If. It started out really strong, but it's sort of like I think it just finished sort of okay. Uh, but X-Men 97 was like a banger. That show is a banger. Why aren't you guys watching a Marvel animation? Are you not just it's just you don't have time or what? It's not like are you just cool on Marvel and animation?
I'm kind of just cool on Marvel right now. I
Yeah.
don't know. I feel bad saying it because I know I've heard that X-Men 97 is very good and I want to give it a shot, but I don't know. Like I saw the new Fantastic Four trailer is going to drop soon and I just thought I don't really care. And I think that's sort of where I'm at with Marvel. I think the oversaturation has sort of gotten to me.
I
Mm,
agree. I don't know that
mm.
I would rather spend my time watching more Marvel because of how meh a lot of it has been, or watch paint dry. I'm really torn.
It's such a bummer because I don't feel like that. I don't think that Marvel has been what it was in phases 1, 2, and 3, but I also don't think that it's been so bad that I don't want to that I'm not interested in anymore. I'm very invested in Brave New World coming out. I want to see that. I want to see if that's going to move us into like the mainline characters storytelling that they've sort of gotten away from in phase 4 and 5. I'm super excited about seeing the Fantastic Four trailer. And yeah, it's supposed to drop on February 4th. Get it? F4. That's why it's being dropped.
Nice.
Yeah. Which is
I don't
when
get
this
it.
you don't get it because Fantastic Four F4. I'm drawing in the air just in case you can't see me, which none of you
Is
can
that
except for
like
Caleb and Luke.
F4? Is it like Alt 4?
Yes,
Like on a
it's like
keyboard?
yes. In order to get the trailer, you have to hit the F4 key on your computer, and it just pops up.
Forky. Forky asked the question.
4 key.
Now
um,
that was a good series.
My issue is there's a lot of different things you have to prioritize if you're making a movie or a show. And some people like shock factor, other people like pretty things on the screen, whether it's like a visually appealing person or effects, depends on obviously your priority. Um, Marvel put themselves in an impossible position with following it up as like an impossible task because I don't know anything that had the same grip on people as like the Infinity Saga, and I don't just waver it to like Endgame and all that. But because of that being so big, their priority has continued to be like the shock factor and this like superhero thing saving the entire planet again over and over and over, and it's not the same as what they built it as with Thanos being the villain. Um, and I don't know. I think they need to change priority and like tell a really good story. Because with like the Spider-Man movies that followed, I feel like those were really good movies. Would you guys agree or disagree?
Yes, I agree.
They were good. I don't know about really good.
So
Well,
then
let's
I
be
will
clear.
ask
Like,
both of
what
you,
movies are you specifically talking about for Spider-Man?
like the ones that followed Endgame.
Far From
So,
Home was the most recent, or there was the first project back from from Endgame, right?
yes, yeah, yeah. Far From
I think
Home
it's a
is
pretty good movie, but
yeah.
the whiplash between the two is pretty intense.
So I think the good things about those stories are the stories, not necessarily like I think the sacrifice is a good part of the story too. Him having to let everybody forget him forever is like a really grasping story, and he's not
Spoilers. Talk about spoilers. Jeez.
another like years in advance. I love that. Um, I don't know. I just feel like you saying like it. I'm gonna watch X-Men '97 just because you've spoken very highly of it. I will just need a reminder when I finish my binging of Always Sunny. Um, but like I didn't know Harrison Ford's Hulk was gonna be coming to big screens this like quarter of the year, let alone in a couple weeks.
Literally a week and a half.
Yeah, that's crazy. I didn't know that.
Well, Marvel marketing has not broken through your firewall then because it's in overdrive with that. It's like I am actively avoiding it now, like I usually do with Marvel stuff 2 weeks or a month before something comes out. Um,
And then again, that goes to my like thought of priorities is like, are they just going to prioritize getting their fans back in theaters, or are they going to try to keep grabbing new audiences? I feel like I'm sort of in between them
mm,
because I'm not engaging as much as you're engaging in their posts and stuff like that. So I'm not seeing it. And that's just
yeah.
how algorithms are made. But like they can still try and get through that one way or another.
Okay, so you're not really too hyped on the animated Spider-Man, your friendly neighborhood Spider-Man show. Um, and it doesn't sound like you're super hyped about Brave New World either. Where are you guys at with Brave New World? Like we're talking about in a week and a half coming out. Do you guys want to see this movie? Are you gonna pass on this one? Where are you at?
I want to see it. It
Me
looks good.
too.
The trailer looks good.
So I guess I'll ask the question of are we going with like our normal excitement scale? Are we watching it in theaters? Are we waiting in line to watch in theaters? Like
I
is that
I
something
want to
we should
watch
do?
it. I want to watch it in theaters. The the problem is that it comes out on President's Day weekend, which we're all running around crazy, and some of us are going to be in multiple states on that weekend alone for hockey tournament. So we'll have to figure that out. But yeah, I'd like to see it in theaters. So Luke, you said you wanted to see it in theaters. Caleb, you want to know if I would wait in line for opening night. Um, No, not opening night, but opening weekend. So if that's a wane in my excitement about Marvel stuff, then I guess that's a tangible thing. Because during the Infinity War saga, yes, we were watching these movies on opening night, like
See,
for years.
I think that's an important distinction. I think wanting to watch it versus being willing to wait to watch it are two very different things.
Yeah, I like that. That's true. Yeah, because if you're watching Thursday night, like opening night, you're desperate to see this thing. You don't want to even have an
Yeah,
iota of a chance of being spoiled, and you want to
exactly.
be a part of the group of people that see this first.
IOTA
But
is a
if
good word.
thanks, Luke, how about you? Are you like where's based on that? What's your level of excitement for Brave New World?
I want to watch it opening weekend. I don't have to be there opening night, but I do want to be there opening weekend. Um, President's Day is a busy time. I remember watching Ant-Man Quantumania in Las Vegas, and I bought tickets like old people did, where you walked up and you bought them and you sat in random seats. Um, which is kind of disappointing for that movie. But
Did
yeah,
they
I
ask
do
you to
want to see it.
silence your beepers too?
Yeah. Um, and it cost me a nickel to get in. Um, I'm excited to see Harrison Ford. It's been a while since we've seen Sam Wilson, so I'm excited to see some
Yeah,
more of him.
I'm hoping that this movie will sort of like bring us back to some main character storytelling. Uh I know that well, I just totally lost my train of thought, but I'm gonna get it back here. I know that like phase 4 and 5, see, I did it. Phase 4 and 5 have been about like flooding the market with content and introducing new characters, and in some cases it's worked better than others and whatever. But I like the feeling of circling back and being like the line in the trailer that Harrison Ford says to Sam. I guess he's Thunderbolt Ross. He's not Harrison Ford. Thunderbolt Ross is telling Sam Wilson like, "I want you to get the Avengers back together." That's exciting to me. Like I want to see I want to see some Avengers talk too, and I'd like to see some forward motion towards like how this is all going to culminate in the next couple Avengers movies, which are 2 years and 3 years down the road or whatever they are, because it just seems like it's been wandering, and I've enjoyed some of the wandering, but I'd like to start seeing some payoff for what that means. So anyway, I don't know how we got onto this from Your Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man, but give the show a try. I'll keep you updated. If you want to wait until the 10 episodes are out, I'll go ahead. I don't know why I just pronounced out like a Canadian, but I did. Sorry. Once it's all released, I'll let you guys know how it is, and maybe you'll take time. We'll see if it's worth it.
You
Uh,
can't make me,
one
but okay.
one of the things that they're hyping up on that show is all the cameos that they're going to be putting in. And one of the cameos has been all over the marketing, and it's Daredevil. And apparently, Charlie Cox is actually voicing Daredevil in his appearance in Your Friendly Neighborhood Spider Man. So I'm looking forward to seeing that. And I'm really only bringing that up to transition to the other thing that I'm super excited and hyped about and want to hear your thoughts on. And that's Daredevil Born Again, which now is next month, literally. So I've been trying to rewatch some of the Daredevil Netflix shows in preparation because the trailer came out for Daredevil. Did you guys see this Daredevil Born Again trailer?
It looked great.
Okay, so you're excited for the show?
I am. The trailer
Me
did its
too.
job. I am more excited now than I was before.
Good. Caleb?
I know nothing. I am excited for the show because it's Daredevil.
And you liked the Daredevil show from the Netflix series, right?
That's one of the pre-Marvel Marvel shows that I only watched when Luke had it on the TV and I would walk into the room.
It's
I think
so
I could
good.
tell you the majority of the storyline, just piecing it together, but I don't think I could like actually tell you Like, I know. Nope. I was gonna say I know the characters' names, but I don't.
Blind dude with nunchucks. That's all you gotta know.
Nope, you're right. I know Daredevil. I don't know what's her name
Foggy.
again? Augie is
Foggy.
the Foggy?
Foggy, yeah.
Wait, well, that's not what I heard. That's not what I remembered. Foggy.
Did
Okay,
you
then
think somebody said
who's?
Froggy?
No, I thought he said Augie, and that made sense to me. And then you said
No.
Froggy, or no, Foggy,
And
and
Karen.
then I was confused.
And Stick.
Yeah.
No,
Foggy, Karen, Stick, Electra.
no.
You're
Stick is
not.
a character?
Yeah.
He's his
He's the guy that
mentor.
trained. Huh?
You guys are lying.
Yeah. He trained Daredevil. He's his mentor.
What a dumb name.
No, it's David Carradine. He's like this super famous kung fu guy that
That's not what I'm
you know,
saying. Stick is a
no,
dumb name.
you can give no, it's not. You can give any name to David Carradine and it's going to be cool, and Stick is cool.
I
Although
don't know
Stick is
who
not really
David
that
Carradine.
cool in the show, he's a sort of a jerk. He's like a real jerk. I don't know. Are we
And
going to
you're
get into spoilers
defending
for
this
the
guy?
Daredevil show? Do you guys even remember enough to spoil the Daredevil from Netflix?
Of course, it's Daredevil. He beats people up in hallways.
Oh, the hallway fights, the hallway scenes are so good. So yeah, beware spoilers for Daredevil. But I'm sorry if you haven't watched. Maybe not David Carradine. Oh,
David
yeah, you
Carradine
just.
died in 2009.
So it's not David Carradine. I thought I do not know what this guy's name is. Then you're gonna have to Google Netflix and Netflix stick Daredevil and give me the actor's real name because it's not David
That's
Carradine.
that's an old man's way to search Google.
Well, no, that's how you're
You
supposed to
said
like Daredevil
you
stick.
literally just said Google Netflix Daredevil stick character. You
Hey
What's wrong
Siri,
with that?
who is the character from the show Daredevil that is named Stick?
There's nothing
His
wrong
name
with
is
that.
Scott Glenn.
Oh, Scott Glenn.
And you
I
know
don't know
how
who
I
Scott
found
Glenn
that?
is. What?
Do you know how I found that?
By Googling Daredevil Netflix stick character?
I looked up Daredevil cast.
Eh. Eh. Eh.
Netflix Daredevil stick character.
Or you could put Netflix Daredevil stick actor.
Excuse
Scott
me, Mr.
Glenn.
Google, sir. Can you please tell me who is the character for the Netflix show that is now a Marvel show, Daredevil, please, if you have a moment?
On
That's
Disney
the Google
Plus.
search. That is the Google search.
So Scott Glenn, Stick is a jerk though. He's not really a nice guy in that show, but he does accomplish, I guess, his goals, whatever. But
Okay, but
um
Scott Glenn being in The Hunt for Red October, in Training Day, and Silence of the Lambs, I feel like those are
no,
iconic movies.
he's a big star. That's why I thought he was David Carradine. Oh gosh, I am a professional podcaster.
He's
Um
86.
he's a very well accomplished actor.
Good for
Um
him.
so the story on this show, I don't know how much you guys know about this. Daredevil Born Again was going to be like a 22 episode in one season. In the first season was going to be 22 episodes. It was going to star Charlie Cox and Vincent D'Onofrio as Kingpin and Daredevil, but that was it. I don't believe it was going to have Foggy, Froggy, Augie, or Stick, or David Carradine, or any of those people. It was going to be like a new thing. They got into the filming of this, and I've been reading about this because now there's lots of interviews happening, so the stars are out there talking. And they got into the filming of it, and then the double strikes hit. So the writers' strike and then the actors' strike of last year or whenever that was, 2023. and then Marvel was looking at what they had filmed and they didn't like what was happening. So they retooled. They completely retooled. They fired the guy that was running it. They brought in a new person to run it. The person that's running the show is the person that ran Punisher season 1 and 2 from Netflix. So he has a pedigree with these characters. And they started over. And Charlie Cox and Vincent D'Onofrio apparently went to the Marvel executives and said, you need to connect it to these Netflix shows. You have all this stuff that you can reference. Just connect it. And they had been really sketchy and cagey about, will this be connected to the stuff and whatever. They had never even acknowledged if that stuff was in the MCU timeline. But now it is, and they've said, no, this is a continuation of those characters' stories. So they brought in Foggy Nelson, they brought in Karen Page, and if you've seen the trailer, sorry if you haven't, but Frank Castle is in the trailer too, and he's the Punisher. So there's when I saw his face, I didn't know he was going to be in it. When I saw his face in the trailer, I had to add 2 seasons of shows to watch in preparation. I was just going to watch the 3 Daredevil series seasons, but then I decided I was going to throw the Defenders in there, and then also the
You didn't
Punisher
have to
season
do
1
that.
and 2. No, I'm actually through 2 seasons of Daredevil, and I'm on the Defenders right now, and it's pretty cool. I'm on the episode 3. It's fun. It's fun to see all the characters now like interacting and stuff when they
Aren't
start
the
to meet each other.
Daredevil episodes chunky?
An hour. They're all like an hour each.
And you were judging me for binging. My God.
Trust me, it's been some heavy lifting. Like there has been
So,
some binging going on.
so are you going to be ready by the time it rolls around?
I don't think so.
Oh, man. So are you going to like push off the new release so you can catch up and not be like stuck watching both?
I'm going to be ready on day 1. I'm going to be watching. I can't wait to see this show. I'm excited about
So
this
you're
show.
going to abandon ship.
I may turn my
Wow.
rewatch into Google searches. Hey Google, what happened? Hey, I don't need to know right now. Google, go to sleep.
It's listening.
What happened on the Punisher Netflix series season 1 and 2?
Please.
Please enter backspace www.semicolon.com. We'll see. I'm hoping to finish Defenders, Daredevil 3, and Punisher 1 and 2. But I only have like 3 weeks, and I'm not sure that's going to happen. So we'll see. I would like to. I think I will continue rewatching the show though, even after Daredevil starts, because I am thoroughly enjoying this rewatch. This show is so good, so good. Did you guys watch all of the shows? Because you had Luke Cage, Jessica Jones, Iron Fist, The Punisher, and the Defenders. Did you watch
I
all
did.
those or just some of them?
No, I watched every episode of every season. Jessica Jones is trash.
That's false. Jessica Jones is excellent.
Yeah, it was like the trash can behind a fancy restaurant. Like it was good trash.
I think you misspoke. That's Iron Fist. That's not Jessica
Iron
Jones.
Fist is so bad.
Iron Fist was not great.
Jessica Jones, I don't know, it just didn't do it for me. It it did a good job of creating like a certain vibe, I guess. And
Mm-hmm.
it's a hard vibe to create, but I think it did a good job with that. But it just didn't really do it for me. Iron Fist was bad. I thought Luke Cage was good. Punisher, though, the Punisher was so good. That in Daredevil, it's peak superhero television.
Vigilante superhero television, and I think that's a big thing about it. Like the Daredevil season 2, when they introduced Frank Castle, and the whole discussion about like he's the natural progression after Daredevil did what he did in season 1. Now it's emboldening people to do like go too far and take the law into their own hands. And the dialogue and the writing and the discussion about that whole scenario was just amazing. This is so good. Episode 3 of that season is peak Marvel television. It's the one where he's got Daredevil tied up on the roof,
Yeah.
and they're just having this discussion about like why Punisher kills and why Daredevil doesn't kill, and it's just
When I put him down, they
incredible.
don't get back up.
Exactly.
Where was when is the scene of him in the courtroom where he loses it and he's like, I did it because I liked it, and everybody starts freaking out.
Yeah, that's later in the season. It's when they go through the trial, and Murdoch and Nelson are representing him, and Karen is off doing her like investigative journalism, and finding out things about Frank Castle that Foggy and Matt don't even know she's doing, and she turns that into like a journalism career. But then that what you're talking about happens later in the season, and there's 13 episodes in each Daredevil season. There's actually 13 episodes in every season of these Netflix shows except for the Defenders, and they're all an hour long. It's like so beefy.
Yeah, dude, you should have started this like a year ago.
I know. I even toyed with the idea once to watch all of them, and I'm like, no, that's not enough. There's just not enough time. But yeah, it's like episode 9 maybe, or 10 or something, and he just goes full psycho in the courtroom and completely loses their case for them.
Do you guys know Charlie Cox's real name?
Charlie Cox. David
Charles.
Carradine.
What, Luke?
Charles.
Okay, I'm gonna give you guys choices, and you guys will get 1,000,001 point because of Dad's original game scale. If you guys get it right. Okay, is his name Charlie Cox? Is his name Gerard Howard Cox, or is it Charlie Gerard Cox, or did I already say Charlie Thomas Cox?
No, you didn't. I'm going with Charlie Thomas Cox.
Is that
I think it's just Charlie Cox. I think this is all just one big ploy.
it's Charlie Thomas Cox?
Yes, I got 1,000,000 points. I have 1,000,001 points? I've
Yes,
never had so many points before.
but for 1,000,002 points, do you guys think Sigourney Weaver's name is actually Sigourney Weaver?
No, it's not. It's something stupid like Rachel.
You didn't buzz in. You didn't buzz in. You didn't buzz in. You didn't buzz in. Colby.
So Luke
Go
said
ahead.
no.
Well, then I'm
Dad-
going to say no plus 1 cent.
I don't know the story behind it, but her name is actually Susan Alexandra Weaver, but decided to make her stage name Sigourney Weaver.
It's got a ring to it. I mean, it clearly worked out for her. She was also in the Defenders, which I had forgotten about.
Yeah, I don't get it.
So do I get the 1,000,002 points, or are you giving them to Luke?
Oh, I'm gonna be just as good of a calculator host. I don't remember who he said what.
I got the points. I have 2,000,000 and 3
I want
points.
the points. Give me the points.
Okay,
Luke
look
said
it
it
up.
was more conviction. He has 1,000,002 points. You're now trolling again.
At least I got my 1,000,001 points. I've never gotten that many points before, ever, in anything. It's amazing.
Well, they're very inflated. They are like Shroot Bucks. It takes like 1,000,000,000 for 25 cents or something.
So it goes without saying, I am super excited about Daredevil. It sounds to me like you guys are excited about it. I want to talk about the Daredevil movie, TV show. Not the movie. That's a whole other thing. TV show. I'm looking forward to
Is it a
seeing.
movie?
With Ben Affleck. He was Daredevil.
No.
Yeah.
No.
You didn't know that?
Nope.
Who
Maybe we've
was,
talked about it, but I've slipped since then.
Wasn't Angelina Jolie Electra?
No, it was Jennifer Garner.
Jennifer Gardner, yeah.
Yeah, and I think I know she had her own spin-off movie, just an Electro movie, and I'm guessing, I think maybe there was a Daredevil 2. I think I might be wrong about that too. Maybe you could Google, is there a Daredevil 2 not the Netflix show, the movie.com. Thank you for the charity laugh. Yeah, so that's it. That's my Marvel talk. I'm happy. I'm looking forward to Brave New World. I'm looking forward to the Daredevil, and then we'll get into I don't want to change subjects here, but Andor. I think Andor and Daredevil are going to
Oh my
overlap,
god!
and
Don't
Last
talk
of
about
Us,
it.
and Last of Us in April, and
Andor's a
Andor, and
trigger word.
yes. Oh, speaking of Andor, Caleb, you and we did a conversation last week where you made me go like ranking Skeleton Crew,
Yeah,
high and low, and
high low played the proper
you
way.
completely left Andor off the list.
Yeah,
Completely.
yeah. So I googled a list. I looked at the internet and I banged on my screen. Why are you not working? And then I
Fishy,
googled
why are you sleeping?
excuse me, Mrs. Google, ma'am, can you please find me the shows of the Disney's Star Wars Lucasfilm movies, please? And then I looked at the list and I looked right at Andor, and I'm gonna say it was because I was very sick when we were recording, and thought Andor's not a show; it's a movie, and then just didn't bring it up.
It's that good.
Yep.
It is cinema. Cinema.
And reflecting back, I'm 1000% convinced in the moment, in leaving it off of our conversation, I mix it up with Solo. And if that's not true, that's what I'm telling myself. Just so I can cope.
Wait a minute, you're trying to tell me that you mixed Andor up with Solo?
Yeah, and that's why I was like, oh yeah, it's a movie. That's why I'm not going to talk about it. Why is it on this list, dumb internet?
Um, Potential podcasters and podcast guests, consider this a piece of advice, a public service announcement, if you will. Do not drink NyQuil before recording podcasts.
Or do and just reap the consequences. You'll be fine.
It could be fun. Speaking of that, Luke, you were busy, very busy doing homework last week. You didn't get to talk to Skeleton Crew about Skeleton Crew. Do you want to tell us what you thought of the show now that it's all done? And were you even able to finish the last two episodes? I know you had been struggling to do so.
Yeah, I finished it. It was it happened, you know. I watched it and the show went on and yeah.
I'm not. I'm kicking. I'm kicking you off the show.
It just that is how I feel about the show. It happened and I watched it. That's the extent of how I feel about it. It was very fine. It wasn't bad. There was nothing for me to complain about, but I didn't want to rave about it or anything, you know. It was okay.
So what I'm hearing is he had no homework and just didn't want to talk to you about it.
I've been
No, 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 no.
swamped.
You have to remember. You have to remember. Luke is a hater. He is a grade A hater, and if
That
he
is
can
true.
come on and spew his nonsense about stuff like that, he will. But maybe it doesn't sound like he hated it. So maybe you're right. He just was lukewarm about it.
Got
Hold on, hold on,
Boo.
hold on, hold on.
Um,
Oh my god, not this again.
nice. I'm actually okay with that.
No,
Um,
I'm mad that I'm not actually mad about it.
yeah, I don't
More
know.
thoughts? More thoughts on Skeleton Crew?
I wasn't a fan of the direction they went with the show. I thought there was a lot of other things they could have said and done, and um with that being said, I don't think any of it was bad. It just sort of felt like it wasn't wasted potential, but I definitely think it could have been better.
Interesting. Well, I disagree. I thought it was wonderful. I loved it. It was whimsical. It was fun. It was. I love the kids. I now have
Luke,
4 Skeleton Crew Funko Pops in my office.
Luke, family show or kids show?
Kid show.
Yes.
Jod murders a pirate, a defenseless pirate,
It was
while
a
he's stuck in a claw.
it was a
Murders him.
pretty tame murder as far as murders go.
Murder is murder. It doesn't have to be gory or gritty. He like shot him in the face.
Yeah, but I watched Teen Titans growing up, and that was real murder going on there.
Yeah, maybe I should have had more control over your viewing.
God, that show was so good.
I've never seen it. I can't, which is
It's
very irresponsible of me.
unbelievable. I've watched it so many times. Once it came back on streaming services, I must have watched it 10 times.
Okay, last question.
Teen Titans over Teen Titans Go.
Teen Titans Go is actually underrated. Underrated
agree.
and overhated.
I didn't know there was hate on it.
Oh yeah, people didn't like it.
Well, they're dumb.
I don't know what the Teen Titans are. When are they going to be in Superman? Because if they're going to be in Superman, then I'll pay attention to it. But no Superman, no Teen Titans. Last question, Luke. Since you didn't get to comment on it last week, there's some reports out there saying that Ryan Gosling might be in a Star Wars movie. React.
Yes, please, and also thank you. He's such a good actor. Don't put him in some corny little role that everybody's gonna forget about. Don't give him some silly little thing. Give me a trilogy with Ryan Gosling. In fact, give me 2 trilogies with Ryan Gosling. Recast Ray and make Ray Ryan Gosling. That's what I want. Give
No.
him the keys to the castle.
No. Recast like Poe. He's like more of a Poe. Let Ray be Ray.
Recast Finn. He wants to be recasted anyways.
What's
No, he still wants the Disney money.
True. Two things. One, actually, they're both related. I'm pretty proud of myself. I could totally see Luke saying if there was an actor or actress, up to him, it's his casting, to play him in a movie, I could see him picking Ryan Gosling.
Yeah, that feels right.
I'm all for it. Yeah. Bring Ryan Gosling along. Why not?
And the other thing is, what's a clunkier line? We are the spark that'll light the fire that'll burn the First Order down. Or I know it is because I don't know what I'm going to do if it doesn't.
Well, I know that the first one is from The Last Jedi. Where's the second one from?
That sounds familiar, but I can't put my finger on it.
That's kind of crazy. Steve Rogers talking to Scarlett Johansson about going back in time and saving everybody from Thanos' snap.
I actually like
Say
that
it again.
line.
Say that line again.
Steve Rogers line?
Yeah.
I know it is because I don't know what I'm going to do if it doesn't.
Oh, yeah. I can totally see Chris Evans saying that. I'm going to say the first one is clunkier. Because I know that they tried to make... That was clunky.
Yeah, and that was Poe. And I'll have you know, I had both of those lined up. I don't know why it popped into my head in like minute 3 of us recording. And happy accidents, full circle, I got to bring it up naturally.
Love it. Well, this has been fun. I'm glad I got to try to sell you guys on a series I don't know why it exists, and talk about Daredevil, because I've been wanting to talk about Daredevil for the longest time anyway. And we also got into some unexpected territory about Brave New World and the MCU as a whole. When this episode comes out, the Fantastic Four trailer should potentially already be out. So sorry, we're recording the night before that's going to happen, so we don't have our thoughts on that. But I'm excited about seeing that, because I'm excited about Fantastic Four. I want to see that movie. I do think that it's going to be pretty cool. All right, but is there anything else that you guys would like to bring up before we call it a show? Ooh, Caleb, you have your hands up.
I was reminded by a friend and frequent listener of your show, Simbot. He's
Our
asked.
show.
I mean, your is still has. You can't spell your without our. So I mean,
Oh,
sure.
okay. I'm okay.
But, I stand by what I said. He asked me in person the other day where I was gonna make you go eat after smoking Luke at our very fun game we played, just because I was just patient. Um, and I think I've decided.
Oh, uh-oh.
I haven't decided where specifically, but I think I'm going to take us to an all-you-can-eat sushi / Korean barbecue restaurant.
I'm down. But then you have to order the food for me, remember?
Sure. I'll
That's
just
what
go
makes
in.
it scary.
I'll point at, depending on the place, sometimes it's a paper that you fill out everything you want. Other times you have like a set menu and you just verbally say it. One way or the other, I'm just gonna go and put my finger and say, "Get me one of all of these," and just drag my finger all the way down. And then we're just not gonna be able to fit through the door as we leave.
Well, I'm down. We need to do that because, yes, I do owe you and I can't owe people anything. Luke, anything that you'd like to bring up?
Nope.
Thanks for the contribution, as always. Excellent. Well, I want to hear what everybody has to think. So think loud. I want to hear what everybody has to say about Daredevil and are you watching your friendly neighborhood Spider-Man? If you are, let me know. I'm watching it. So talk to me about it. I'd like to hear what you guys think about the first couple episodes. So if you're out there listening and you want to talk Spidey, I'm here. I'm ready for it. And then also, are you excited for Brave New World? Let me know. We're on Threads. We're on the Twitter. We're on the other one. What's it called? Instagram. You know how to find us. So that's going to do it then for this episode. Thank you for listening. For Caleb and for Luke, this is Colby reminding you that Stick is Scott Glenn, not David Carradine. Scott Glenn and David Carradine, not the same person. Bye! If you enjoyed this episode, let us know. You can find the Colbycast on Instagram, Threads, and X at the Colbycast. Episodes can also be found on YouTube, so like and subscribe. If you feel so inclined, rate and review our show on your podcatcher of choice. That really helps the show beat the algorithm and helps us find new friends to add to the conversation. If you're wordy, like me, you can send an email to thecolbycast@gmail.com. All music is licensed through Adobe Stock and performed by ProMusic24. This podcast is not endorsed by anyone or anything for that matter. It's intended for entertainment and informational purposes only. All original content of this podcast is the intellectual property of the Colbycast unless otherwise indicated.
That'll do, Donkey. That'll do.